Okay, all right. Oh, Libra. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, and you know what else too? Your underlying energy is the Four of Wands. That means you guys have moved up in a nice place of, you know, celebration. A nice place in your relationship where you guys could truly feel committed, and one that you guys have definitely put in a lot of work to get here, so it was worth the celebration. So this is a really good card. This tells me that you guys have gotten to a place where you're more stable and ready to kind of take on more work, take on more of the challenges that a relationship may throw at you. Okay, for those of you that are not in a relationship, this is talking about getting moving up to a higher place in yourself, a higher level of commitment, a lot more stable, and you're ready to expand. This is a very good card because this does talk about expansion, moving house, etc. But what's underneath here is the Hangman reverse, and I don't typically read reversals at all. You guys know me from watching for quite a long time. But Libra, this is talking about gaining intuition and gaining that perspective that you were looking for, enlightenment. So you guys have gotten some sort of perspective or something clicked for you guys, and that was what pushed you over to the edge to get you more stable, to get you more grounded. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm really happy to see that. Okay, let me put your underlying energy here. Probably won't be able to see it, but hey, at least it's there. Now, the current state of being, guys, I'm not too happy about this, but at the same time, it's not that bad. It's the Ten of Swords, right? So the Ten of Swords talks about the endings happening, things coming to an absolute halt. So yeah, it's not the greatest kind of ending in the world, but it does leave you with lots of perspective. It's lots of perspectives, and the greatest thing here is that the worst is over. There is no more struggling. There's no more of anything bad happening. The worst hit the fucking fan, guys. We made it through. Now, with the Ten of Swords here, it does talk about having to get up and having to push forward and move on. Yes, and this is the recovery stage. So, right now, you guys are having to get up off the ground and pick yourself up, and it's very difficult considering how many swords are in your back. Some of you guys may have been betrayed, and that's what the That's what the Hangman was all about. What they were trying to say maybe was that you guys have gotten some insight or some sort of perspective into why a certain situation ended up a certain way, and now you're feeling more stable despite how you feel in regards to feeling that, down in the dirt and pretty much taken out. And for some of you guys, it could be that you guys have gotten to that and, gotten to the perspective necessary. You're in a better place now. You're trying to get to a place where you're more stable. Four of Wands is about stability and preparation for expansion in a sense. You've gotten to a place where you're all set. You did a lot of work to kind of make the foundation and pretty much make a table so that way you can start building some more stuff off of it. But it had to happen through a series of things that, pretty much either were very hard to deal with, and you pretty much have to kind of look at the situation from the perspective of, pretty much getting everything that you needed, but not really feeling the victory of it. Obviously this is not a victory. This is pretty bad. But most importantly, that the worst is over and you guys have made it through. There's nothing, it can't get worse from here. So it can only go up. So right now, you guys are recovering. You guys are getting back on your feet. What you guys would like to do, what your guys' goals are, is the Five of Cups. So for a lot of you guys, the Five of Cups is indicating to me that you guys are really looking to just go ahead and shift your focus. I think honestly, the spilled milk has happened and you guys realize that. That's why you guys have the Ten of Swords there. Yes, the things that happened. And right now you guys are really looking to change your focus and move towards the relationship to build off of that, to work with what you have left. You really want to work on changing your focus, and I think that's a really admirable goal here, considering everything that you guys had been through, and honestly, considering also that your underlying energy is the Four of Wands. It makes absolute sense that that the Five of Cups would be your goal. You want to utilize what you gained, the stability that you have in your relationship, to push you towards whatever your the right heart's desire is, whatever your true destiny is, or whatever you're truly trying to get to. Okay, So the thing that's keeping you from changing your focus, focusing on the Two of Cups, working on what you have left, which is the Two Cups, you have the King of Cups. So it could be that there's somebody that's holding in their emotions, not being expressive, not really expressing their emotions. Now looking at their intuition, it's because of a decision that was made in the past, possibly. Now, I don't know what decision that you guys have made, what other course of action, but it's requiring you guys to really open up and be vulnerable. Now, the King of Cups is always vulnerable, but nobody knows that he's vulnerable because he doesn't say anything. And the thing here is, Libra, is that you could be dealing with a Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer right now, who is not really good at communicating, isn't good at telling you what is going on with their emotions. They could just be like really, really, really shitty at it, to be honest with you. But they're really soft, really deep, and really truly loving. And I think that right now it could just be allowing that love to come in, allowing that love to captivate the relationship, because you do have Two of Cups. You want to focus on the relationship, but you have a lot of things that are fallen that you're focusing on. And I think that right now, despite how much you're trying to recover, you're still looking at what's gone, what's lost. So to get you to the Two of Cups, I think there is an emotional openness that needs to be had here. And just because you make a decision, or whatever decision that you made, it doesn't mean that you should shut your emotions off, because this is a Wands decision. And honestly, when Wands come up, emotions are just as much involved as thoughts. So you have to look at how you feel right now, especially in regards to whatever decision that you decide to make, whatever path that you decide to take. Don't shut your emotions out, because you're going to need that emotional. You need those emotions to push you towards your goal. Allow that to be your inspiration to get you to what you want. Because if you shut out your emotions, Libra, then you won't get to where you want to be. It'll be harder for you to get to where you want to be. Use whatever you're feeling as the motivation. Now, if you're dealing with somebody that isn't opening up, you really, it's really hard to kind of get somebody to talk about what they want to talk about. But the only way for them to open up with you, or you at least to have a balance in a relationship that works, is to show them that you can communicate your emotions. So if someone else is not opening up or having a hard time talking about how they feel, it's probably good that you start showing them that it's okay to talk about how they feel by you initiating it, by you always talking about how you feel first and then asking them how they feel after, right? So right now you're ooh, even this, guys, for a lot of you guys can be dealing with somebody that's overly emotional, because the King of Cups has the potential to be very, very, very emotional, very deep. And considering that your advice is the King of Swords, it's asking you to be very logical and detached, actually. And honestly, it's dealing with somebody that's a King of Swords, an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. So for a lot of you guys could be dealing with somebody that, the advice could be that you should see a counselor, someone that can really help you with the situation, help you, balance the situation out, and really work on shifting your focus to not just what's gone, but what's the relationship. Because the Ten of Swords happened already; it's gone. You guys really want to push, get to here, but again, it's going to take some time to recover from something so devastating, right? The Ten of Swords is a very devastating card. So for you to, and so is Five of Cups, right? You spilled your glasses or your chalices full of wine, and it meant something serious to you, especially the support. The support may be gone, but you want to reconnect in the relationship. And if someone is not opening up in the relationship, you may need to see a counselor. You may need to see somebody that can help you. I'm not getting divorced for any of you guys, so I just feel like this is really someone that can truly help you and give you advice. If this is not the case, I really feel like this is also strongly suggesting that you really put your head together and really figure out what it is that you want to put your heart and soul into. I think it's really putting your logic with heart here. Either it's time to really utilize the air sign qualities of yourself, which is detaching and looking at the situation at a logical standpoint and attacking it emotionally, or it could be consulting a friend to help you out with your situation, and not necessarily any friend, but a professional. Not saying that you guys have problems or anything, but the King of Swords, when he comes up, he's usually a lawyer. He's usually someone that is, a psychologist, someone that is really good at what they do in regards to working with people, truth, and justice as well. Like, he's really, really fair. Now, the thing here is, if he was reversed, and if I read reversals, I would be a little bit more concerned, but he's in your advice. I think that this person here is meant to help you. So if you guys need any situational help, I mean, it's okay to lean on somebody that you know that is very strong enough to help you, especially, again, if there's professionals in the field. It would really do you best if you did find someone that's professional, but if there is no one professional, you know someone that's really good at helping you anyway, talking to them may help you a lot. How you're feeling is the Four of Pentacles, excuse me. So that's why I was saying, all right, Libra, it's time to not lock up so much, okay? Time to kind of speak your truth and walk your truth with the King of Swords there at your advice. That's probably what it's telling you to do as well. Because in your feelings, you have the Four of Pentacles. You're feeling like you're holding on to things. You're holding on to some certain stability, and although you work very hard to get here, it's no longer going to get you towards expansion. No longer going to push you towards anywhere new. In actuality, it's gonna actually prevent you from really expanding. It's gonna actually hold you back. So with the Four of Pentacles, I feel like you guys you feel very stable. You know what you're worth, which is an absolutely good thing to see here with the Four of Pentacles. But at the same time, it could be also a lot of fear that's keeping you here as well, and a lot of vulnerability. The vulnerability portion is the King of Cups. He feels super vulnerable, but he doesn't say anything. And the Four of Pentacles is pretty much the same. You feel very vulnerable, but you're not saying anything. You're not opening up. You're kind of keeping everything kind of closed in and boxed up. So it's time to express how you're feeling, Libra. Especially in regards to how you are, income wise, practically, anything pentacle wise, material anything. If you feel, especially in your value, right? If you feel like you're holding on to things, you're not really wanting to let go, not really ready to open up, you have to find out why you're so vulnerable in the first place, to not really want to expand yourself. Because you can't stay in the Four of Pentacles forever and to get whatever you're looking for. Because if you want something, you have to take that risk and go out and you have to go out and, find that truth, find whatever makes you happy. And it's going to require you to leave this foundation that you worked so hard to build. And it's not to say that it wasn't worth staying for or anything like that, but it's not going to help you. It's not going to really help you if you stay. So whatever you're closing up, whatever is keeping you all tight, you have to look at why. And I think that's why the King of Swords is coming up. He's going to help you, he or she, or this is even you, Libra, honestly. And I don't read Kings for Libras, but this is really strong and interesting. Really looking within and going through the rabbit holes and figuring out what it is that you're holding on to so hard and so tightly, and why you're not expressing yourself, not opening yourself up to be able to get to the Five of Cups. Because because there's something here that's holding you back, right? With your goal, there's something that's holding you back. Whatever it is that's holding you back is what's going to push you forward. With you looking at it and realizing what it is that's gone, whether it be support, whether it be friends, whether it be a connection, whether it be anything, a communication, expression, especially how you feel, anything. Looking at it and being honest with yourself is what's going to help you shift your focus. And that's what's going to help you recover from the Ten of Swords. But you have to look at it first and not lock up your emotions. Okay? Being vulnerable is okay. And as long as you're vulnerable, you're going to be able to get to the two cups, but that's sitting behind you with the Five of Cups there. Okay, but you have to be vulnerable first. And right now, you're kind of not really allowing yourself to be very vulnerable right now. You're actually just closing everything up. Okay, so be very careful about what you're doing here, alright? Now, with your hopes and fears, you have the Devil. Old habits are coming back up. And that's one of the things. It's not saying it's coming back up, but you're worried about these things happening. You're worried about old tendencies happening, old things coming up, old ways of being. You're worried about a certain behavior coming back up. You're worried about a partner being being codependent or lack of codependency. Any sort of situation or behavioral circumstance that comes up, you're worried about that. But you do have power in your situation. When the devil comes up, it does tell you that you do have power. You do have integrity. You do have control, even though it feels like you don't. But you don't have to feel trapped. If you feel like you're holding on to, you're clinging on to what's safe because you know you can control the circumstances here, which is completely understandable. But in regards to your relationship and love, you have control in every aspect of your half of the relationship, of your life, and everything that that is ruled by you. No, you can't dictate what someone else does, but you can make boundaries. You can make standpoints. You can, express how you feel about what's a certain circumstance in your relationship. And if it makes you uneasy, and if your partner loves you and respects you, then they will, listen at least. Okay, they'll come up with different ways of handling a situation if they cannot comply to what your wishes are. And that's what relationships are all about, compromise. So if they can compromise, then that's fine. If they can at least listen and hear you out, that's fine as well. But also, you don't have to deal with everything. And I know you guys have been through a lot of change lately, gone through a lot of different things. So you guys are not really that compliant anymore. You guys are you're not as compromising anymore, which is good. But don't feel like that you have to kind of go back to old ways of doing things to get what you want, because it's never the case. You don't have to do that. You are a new you, especially in Aries season. You are a different person in a relationship now. You are coming out of your shell, Libra. So allow yourself to really purge, but don't get locked up in here. Don't get stuck. Don't feel like you can't express how you feel. If you feel like there's something bothering you, especially with that 3 of Cups that fell over, support-wise, communication, whatever you feel like is lacking, whatever you feel like was just horrible, you don't have to ever go back there. You have to just communicate that and be open with it. Okay? And of course, whatever decision that you made here, don't let that be the mute button for you, okay? Now, for your outcome, you have the Emperor. So this is talking about your way of the highway, being uncompromising, standing in your power. And that's not a bad thing, considering that, Libra, you always compromise. You always look to kind of keep the situation as fair as possible. One of the things too is that Libras, especially, they only compromise when there's a problem. So I think honestly, as long as if this Emperor is you, I feel like it's really indicating that if you feel like this is something that you feel like shouldn't be compromised on, don't. Stand in your power, find your power, and rock it. Get back to the 2 of Cups that you feel that's best for you, okay? And don't think for anybody else. Right now, the Emperor doesn't think for anybody else but himself. Of course, in his Empress, but she's not here. But the whole point of him being there is that he'll get things done. He'll work for it. He'll do what he needs to do, but in his own way. And if you have to do something your own way, then you have to do it your own way. You've been through so much already you already learned your lessons, you already hit rock bottom. Now you get to do whatever you want to do. You get to have whatever you want to have. And if it does kind of get in the way of someone else's plans, or if it's too much for someone else, then you have to just learn how to deal with it. You don't have to recede. You don't have to hold back. You don't have to do any of those things to get what you want. And if you want to, connect back in your relationships here, you have to find your power. And the Devil here and the Empress is very interesting together, considering that this is the outcome in the Host of Fears. The Host of Fears is, like I said before, is tapping into old ways of behaving. So if you're afraid of getting back to this, you want to purge. Just purge from this. Purge from this so that way you can feel more in control of your situation. Okay? We'll focus on you right now, especially in Aries season. You want to focus on yourself. And work on your behaviors as well in regards to how you handle your emotions and how you feel vulnerable. Like, if you feel vulnerable, don't lock up, because that's not how's that going to help you and your partner, or in any kind of relationship that you may find yourself in? How is keeping your emotions going to help? How is it keeping your emotions to yourself going to help expand the relationship? Because right here, the 4 of Wands is all about expansion. Okay? calling in your soulmate. That's amazing. Okay, you guys have your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. That is true. You be very stern about what you want. If you don't want to compromise, don't. Do not compromise what you want. If this is truly your path, Two of Wands, stick with it, because this is your cup. This is your heart's desire, and you want this as much as anything. If you find that you don't have a lot of support in your dream, so what? Go for it anyway. Go for it. Lead your heart with it. Okay. It doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter if your partner can't, can't understand or doesn't want to support you on that. You have friends. You have someone around you. You don't need anybody, ultimately. But what's more important here is that you're calling in your dream. Despite the love here, which is obviously what I'm reading for, right? This is romantic stuff, whatever. No, love yourself. So if this dream that you have here, this passion, this decision that you decided to make isn't being supported by the person that you love, so what? You can still have this relationship going here, but you can still have your dream. Don't compromise on that. Just continue to do the best that you can, Libra. Continue to do the best that you can. All right, now let's go ahead and pull for your whispers of love. The only thing that is real is love. Beautiful card. And it says, shift your focus from the problem back to love. That's what the Five of Cups is saying. That's what your goal is, right? That's what you guys are wanting to do. The way to do that is to stare at the problem in the face and say, you know what? This was what happened. I did the best I could at the time that was given to me, at the time that, of the knowledge that I had at the time. And I can change and fix and do whatever I want with my future because I have free will. As long as you continue to reiterate those words, and even say the Serenity Prayer, you know that you could control anything and have control in every aspect of your life, even in your relationships, even with your dreams. Don't let anything and anyone dictate how you should feel. Don't let anything keep you from your heart's desire, because the King of Cups, he gets what he wants. He dreams, he manifests. He is the person that is always constantly in the right vibration to get what he wants. But I can't tell you what to do. And I always say, don't do this, don't do that. And I try my best not to. But most importantly, guys, I would really highly suggest trying to communicate how you feel and not rely so much on holding everything in, because it's a dangerous game when you hold in your emotions. You know what I mean? It's very dangerous. If you can communicate them in a way that makes sense, communicate them. If you can't, you can't. But at least try. Don't try to hold this all in. Four of Pentacles, King of Cups. Communicate that, because that's what the King of Swords would do. He will communicate what he's thinking. He will communicate his truth. He will always talk. He will never shut up. Don't silence yourself.